Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and InfoSec Pandey here. So today is day 31 of SOC Analyst 100 Days Learning Challenge, and we are diving into something every analyst must understand to truly become a SOC wizard, the alert life cycle. And you know how alert pop up in your SIEM like popcorn in the microwave? So 1 second everything is quiet, and the next second, boom. So you have got an alert saying someone's using PowerShell to talk to a SID IP address. It's a fun time, right? But what actually happens after that alert shows up? Do we just look at it, shrug, and go back to scrolling memes? Nope. There is a full journey that alert goes on. And today we are following that journey. So the SOC alert life cycle from first ping to final goodbye, and what we will cover in this video. So we will cover why the alert life cycle matters, what is the SOC alert life cycle, SOC alert life cycle stages, detection, triage, investigation, and response. So let's go. So why the alert life cycle matters? So this slide is basically saying alerts are normal, panic is optional. So in the real SOC, you are going to see hundreds or even thousands of alerts every day, and that's just how security tool works. So they're very noisy. SIEM tools are noisy, especially. And if you treat every alert like a confirmed breach, you will burn out fast and miss the important stuff, right? So not every alert is an incident because an alert is just a signal that something might be wrong. It's not 100% sure that it is wrong, but it is indicating that something might be wrong. And most alerts turn out to be like a normal user behavior or misconfigured systems or false positive. So that's why having a structured alert lifecycle matters. So instead of reacting emotionally to every ping, you follow a process. So you review, you validate, investigate, and close or escalate. And this does three useful things. So it going to reduce the pain for your sock, so you don't freak out every time seam beeps. You trust the process, and then prevent missed threat. So the real attack can hide inside noisy alerts. So a proper workflow help you to catch the serious one instead of ignoring everything, and then ensure consistency and accountability. So every alert get handled the same way, no random decisions. So if something goes wrong, you can trace who looked at it and what was done. And the final one, so this is the core skill for tier 1 and tier 2 analysts. Your job is not to stop hackers on day 1. Your job is to handle alert properly, know when to close them, and know when to escalate them. What is the alert life cycle? So when people say SOC alert life cycle, they are just talking about the full journey of an alert inside a SOC, from the moment a tool flags something and all the way to closing it and learning from it. So think of it like a hospital emergency process. No drama, just the flow, right? So you detect a problem, you figure out and what's wrong, you fix it, you make sure it doesn't happen again. So in SOC terms, that looks like this. So it is start with detection by tools like SIEM, EDR, firewall, cloud log, or something triggers an alert. Then it goes to investigation and response, and an analyst checks, is this real or noisy one? How bad is it? Do we need to contain, block, reset, isolate, etc.? And then uh, it ends with documentation and the lesson learned. And you don't just close the alert and move on. You note what happened, what worked well, and what rule or detection can be improved. So in short, we can say the SOC alert lifecycle is just the end-to-end workflow of how alerts are handled properly instead of reacting randomly. So, if you understand this flow early, SOC works feel structured instead of chaotic. All right, so SOC alert lifecycle stages. And here we have stage detection, triage, investigation, response, remediation, closure, post incident review. So this is the SOC alert lifecycle in real life. It's just the step by step flow. Every alert goes through, so nothing important get missed, right? So number one, detection. So tools spot something weird like C, media, firewall, cloud log, something trigger an alert. So at this point, it is just a signal, not confirmed trouble, right? And then triage. So this is the quick first check, and you are basically asking, is this noisy or something real, or how urgent it is? Do I close it or pass it to next level? So most tier one job lives here, tier one. And then investigation. Now you are going to dig it, and you look at log, your timeline, and user activity, endpoint, IP reputation, hazards, etc. And then you are going to get the answer like what actually happened. So this is where you decide if it's a real incident or just a false alarm. Then response. So here we have to things. If it is a real, then we are going to block the IP, isolate the machine, disable the account, or whatever action required we are going to perform in the response section. And if it is a false, then we are going to close that out here. So the goal is very simple in this stage: stop the damage and contain the threat. Then we have remediation. So this is the cleanup and fixing part. So you remove the malware, you patch the vulnerability and patch the system, and then reset the credentials if the credentials are compromised or you are suspecting it is compromised. Then also you are going to close the security gap or create more policies. So this is basically going to stop the bleeding. So remediation fixes the wound, and then closure part. So once everything is handled, you close the alert properly and add notes like attach evidence, screenshots, and also mark the root cause analysis, update the ticket. So no messy or just closed with zero context, right? All right, so the final stage we have post incident review, the lesson learned part. So most of the companies not following this part and they are missing this part, but this is very important, and this is where the teams get better over time. So can be tune detection or reduce noise? Could we have caught this earlier? Do we need new alert or playbook for this incident? So this step is what turns bad days into better SOC maturity. So this is very important for mature your SOC. So overall, this flow is going to help you to go from tool made noise to we handle it properly and improved our process. So that's how real SOC stay sane and effective. Detection, the alert is born. So this is where it all begins. A tool like your C, media, firewall needs detect activity that matches a preset rule or anomaly. So think login from unusual foreign IP, malware detected, large data transfer or massive download at 3 a.m. So this is going to explain what exactly happened to the alert. So here we have one example. You can see the alert triggered a suspicious login, and the source is Azure AD and the location is Russia. And here we have the user detail and then time. So the alert has been born. So here we have one example. You can see we have Azure Sentinel incidents, and we can see we have many incident trigger here: suspicious volume, shadow copy, suspicious command executed, and time series anomaly detection, and suspicious authentication activity. And also we have product, how many alert triggered, and owner of the alert, who is investigating, and what is the status of the alert. And here we have some detail of the alert. So we can see suspicious volume, shadow copy activity, and then description of the alert. So analysis of the host data has detected a shadow copy deletion activity. So shadow copy is very important for backup and also you can tag this last time triggered creation time. So this is the detection part where the signal matches to a rule and triggered an alert. So the alert is born. Here is another example. So it's a Splunk cloud and mission control. And you can see we have a queue here. So attack detected, 24-hour risk threshold increased, 24-hour threshold escalated to system this. And so this is the alert queue and it is showing that alert is born. Then the next we have triage process, sorting signal versus noise. So SOC tier 1 analyst step in here and they check, is this a real or false positive? Is this a repeated offender? What is the severity label? Does it need escalation? So they handle these major questions in this stage. So here is a small checklist analyst follow. Known malicious IP. So whether the IP is known malicious, so they check the reputation of the IP in various threat intel tool. Is previous alert for same user or device? So whether they are the repeated offender, then business justification, and decide the severity label and alert confidence label. So whether they need to escalate it or not, and what common tool they can use in this stage. So analysts use the VirusTotal, AbuseIPDB, gray noise, asset inventory. So these tools help them to find these questions answer. And what is the main outcome from triage or this stage? Whether the alert is false positive, and if it is a false positive, then they can close in this stage. And if the alert is low or medium reputation, they can monitor or document it. If it is a high or confidential alert, then they can escalate for investigation or dig it deeper. Then the next level we have investigation, the deep dive. So it's a time to play detective and determine if this is a truly malicious, suspicious, or benign positive activity. So this is the goal. And then data is going to be reviewed, uh, like authentication log, network patterns, endpoint activity, email behavior. So this is a common data source analyst is going to investigate to find whether it's a real activity. So there is a scenario. So you found a user logged in from Russia and changed their email forwarding rule. So this is the example scenario. So what actions we can take? So we can search for the historical login from the IP, check the rule for the mailbox, and also query for file access and download. So these three things we can investigate for this scenario. And what key tool we can use? So the key tool we can use SIEM. So we can use the KQL query or SPL query. Then EDR console for telemetry log. So they can check the email security portal to investigate the email security logs, the network log and PCAP for network related activity. So if you find sidey behavior, so you can raise an incident. So if the malicious activity is confirmed, incident is declared here. So the next label we have response, stop the threat, and the once the alert is confirmed to be part of the actual security incident, so it is time to act fast. All right. So what is the objective of the response? So the objective is contain damage quickly. So time is matter here. Then what response actions you can take? So response actions can include disable compromise account, isolate infected endpoint, block IP domains, and revoking sessions or token for the active users. And speed is matter here because if you missed something, then the damage will be more. So here we have the example action. For the previous scenario, you can disable the B Smith and kill the malicious process via EDR, and block attacker IP on firewall so the threat is contained. So the next part we have remediation, fix the root cause. So in this stage we are going to focus on long term cleanup and preventions. So you might need to reset the password, reimaging the systems, apply missing patches, and then harden security configuration. And the real talk here is this step often involve working with IT team and management. It is not always glamorous part, but it is very essential. So you don't just want to fix the hole, you want to seal it with the duct tape and concrete and a dragon if possible. Then the next step we have closure and sign off and the post incident review. So if the alert been investigated, contained and remediate, you can properly document what happened, close the alert in your SIEM, and update the ticket if you're using ServiceNow, Jira, something. So don't skip this step, and good documentation save your future self or your replacement. Word of confusion. So the pro tips here is always document, use the markdown template, and then you can also use the uh, playbooks. So playbook is very important, and look for the related activities, communicate clearly, and learn from the missed alert. So every big alert should have a post-mortem, like what went well, what is stuck, could detection be improved, do playbook need to be updated. So bring this in your team, your tools. So the goal is continuous improvement here. And tool you can use in stay. So I have put it some screenshot here. So you can use the detection, triage, investigation, response, remediation, closure, and post incident tools. So detection tools are SIEM, EDR, firewall, etc. And then triage, you can check the IP in the virus total, gray noise, who is, AbuseIPDB. Also, you can check the domains and investigation. So you pull the PCAP and check in the virus total. I mean the virus arc, and also you can play with KQL SPL queries with your SIEM logs, and how you can respond. So you can use the EDR console to block the process and block the IP in the firewall, reset the password in the AD admin tools, then remediation like patching the vulnerability or uh, isolating the endpoint. You can use the SECM, PowerShell, system reimaging tool, then alert closer and documentation. So you can use the Confluence, Jira, Notes, or ticketing tools, and post incident. So you can have a call on Teams, Google Docs for documentation, and some other tools you can use. So this is a good documentation that we have created for alert. So you can uh, create a detailed document, and it's a small one. So the final part is like, this is the thing about alert in cybersecurity. So they are not just blips. So each one is a potential beginning to a much bigger story, right? So the better you understand the SOC alert lifecycle, the faster you will become a turning chaos into calm. So next time you see an alert, don't panic. Walk it through its life cycle. Know that you have got the tool and the know how to handle it. So that's it for this video. See you on day 32. So if you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you so much.